What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. I know that I've done a lot of videos this week, but I wanted to do another one. This one I saw on a channel called Fingtam Languages. It's Fingtam. I'll link it in the description below. And this is called the accent tag. This is to determine how you speak, whether or not you have an accent or anything of that nature. Now, I am from the South. I'm from Virginia, so I guess technically the South. I've always thought personally that I have maybe a slight Southern accent, but not really. Like, I have had people not know that I'm from the South or anything like that. I think that some words that I say probably are Southern influence because that's where I'm from. But I myself personally think that I have a pretty neutral accent when it comes to that. I don't know, you can let me know in the comments below. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into this accent tag challenge? Let's get into these questions. What is it called when you throw toilet paper on a house? TPing. It's not something I've ever really done, but you wouldn't say toilet papering. Toilet papering. You wouldn't say that. You generally TPing. What is the bug that when you touch it, it curls into a ball? I don't know. Like, I genuinely have no idea what it's going for here. Roly-poly, maybe? Is that a thing? What is the bubbly carbonated drink called? Soda. Most people from where I'm from call it pop. But I've always called it soda. In Fingtam's video, he actually said that pop is generally common where he's from, but I always thought pop was a southern thing, but I guess it's not. I call it soda. That's what I've always called, or that's what I've called it ever since I can remember anyway. So yeah. What do you call gym shoes? Tennis shoes. I've never really used the phrase gym shoes. I've always just referred to, and most of the time I just refer to shoes as shoes. Like, I don't say anything specific. Like, if somebody's going running, I'll say grab your shoes, or if they're going to gym, I'll say get your shoes, or if, you know what I mean. I usually don't even use the word dress shoes. I kind of just narrow it down, or not narrow it down, and just say shoes. What do you say to address a group of people? I don't really know, actually. I guess if I'm ever... Here's the thing. Sometimes I'll say use guys, but it's not because that's what I actually say in reality. It's because I am a huge fan of Kevin Smith, and in Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, Jason Mewes would always say, use guys something, or use guys do this, so I would say that. But I think most of the time it would just be very generic, and I would just be like, hey dudes, or something like that. So nothing really in particular on that. What do you call the kind of spider or spider-like creature that has an oval-shaped body and extremely long legs? Granddaddy long legs? What do you call your grandparents? Nanny and Pawpaw. I don't know if that's common or not. I don't know if that's the more common thing. I know that there's a ton of ways to say it. Grandma, grandma, granny, nanny, mama. There's so many things. I personally use nanny and Pawpaw when referring to my grandparents. What do you call the wheeled contraption in which you carry groceries at the supermarket? Buggy. I think buggy is very southern, though. I think that's a southern thing. I think most people north will call it like shopping cart or something like that. But it's always been buggy to me. I used to work at a grocery store, and my job was they would say, go get the buggies. So that's what I've always called them, is buggies. What do you call it when rain falls while the sun is shining? Strange. I don't think I have a word for that. I think literally I'll just be like, oh, it's strange. It's raining and sunny at the same time. Is there a word for that? I did not know that. I'll have to look that up. What is the thing you change the TV channel with? The remote? Generally say the remote, which is short for remote control. I don't say any other thing. I do know that clicker is a thing, but I don't say that. But yeah, most of the time I'll just say remote. Next up is just a section on getting you to say words to see how they sound. So we're going to start out. First off is aunt. A lot of people will pronounce it ant, like A-N-T, which is, this is your mother's sister, your aunt. I always say aunt, but I know a lot of people that say aunt as well. I've heard it from both from around here. Next up is roof. I don't really know. Okay, I do know. Roof as in the thing on top of your house. I guess some people, I do not personally that I know, but I have heard like roof before, like just a very short, quick, like, oh, go change a shingle on the roof, something like that. But I say roof. Next up is root, and I know that some people say route, but I say route in general. I don't say route. Next is wash. This is pretty common, wash. However, a lot of quote unquote old timers, I don't know why, and I think specifically Southern old timers will say warsh, W-A-R-S-H, and I'm not sure why, but I will say wash. Oil, this is, okay, it depends on how fast you're talking. Normally I would say oil, but if you're talking really fast, you will generally abbreviate that almost and just say ol. Ol. I don't even know how you'd spell that. U-L, maybe? So you'd be like, oh, I need to change my oil. But most of the time, I need to change my oil, something like that. It just depends on how fast you're talking, but oil, O-I-L, is the common way that I say it. Next up is theater. I don't know, theater? How else you would say that? Theater. Theater, that's how else people say it. Yeah, I generally say, well, okay, that's actually a tough one because those are two different things to me. Theater and theater are two different things, okay? Theater is where you go to watch a movie. You go to the theater to see whatever new movie is out, whatever movie's out on IMDb or whatever in the world it is. Theater is like the art of performing plays. So that's where I stand on it. If we're talking going to the movies, I say theater. But if we're talking about going to see a play, then I say theater. Hope that makes sense. Next up is iron. This is a weird one because, yeah, this one is not, of course it goes with a lot of English. Iron is spelled I-R-O-N, but it's not iron or iron. It's iron, which would be like I-U-R-N. Iron. And I think iron is pretty common. I don't know if there's a common way to say it in other parts of the country, but I'm pretty sure iron is pretty common. Next up is salmon. I do have friends that pronounce this two different ways. I do have a friend specifically that pronounces it salmon, and then I pronounce it salmon. But I don't, it's generally mutually intelligible. Like it's not something you're gonna misinterpret. Salmon does sound weird to me, but it's just as common, I think, as salmon. Next up is caramel, and this one's actually kind of tough because there's generally two camps, which is caramel and then caramel, but I have always mixed the two, and I call it caramel. So it's like caramel. It's the first part of cara without the extra and then mol from caramel. So I say caramel. Hope that makes sense. Fire, I think, is pretty common. Again, this is one of those old timers will pronounce it. I'm not even kidding. And this may be a southern thing too, but they'll pronounce it far. F-A-R, like something's far. I don't know. Fire's generally pretty common. I don't know if I've ever even heard it in my life in person. I've seen it in videos and stuff. Maybe I have, but I don't think so. Next up is water. And actually, Fing Tam touched on this. I say water, and some people will say water. Water. They make it sound a little better when they say it because they're used to it, but water. You generally not mute, but you deaden the T, so it's not water, it's water. It's like you're saying W-A-D-E-R. Next up is sure. I don't know how else you'd pronounce that. S-U-R-E, sure. Like, yeah, sure, that's fine. Next up is data. I say data. There are two ways to say this, data or data. Data has always sounded super weird to me, but it's not a big deal if I hear data. I personally say data. Ruin, R-U-I-N. I don't know if there's another way to pronounce this or not. Ruin. Ruin? I don't even know. Ruin wouldn't even make sense. Ruin, I think, is the only way to pronounce that. Crayon. Ah, yes. Okay, it took me a second. Crayon, I say crayon, which sounds almost as, I guess, really is over-enunciating. Another common way to say this is crayon, like C-R-A-N, almost like the first part of cranberries, like crayon, but I say crayon. Next up is New Orleans. Lots of pronunciations here. From what I understand from the show, what the heck is that show called? Grounded for Life. Cousin Eddie calls it Nolans. It's like combined. I say New Orleans. Some people say New Orleans. So it depends. Pecan or pecan. This one's tough because I actually pronounce this both ways. Not even kidding. Most of the time when I say anything about a pecan or pecan pie, I say it just like that. I'll say, oh, do you have any of that? Or did you make pecan or pecan pie, whichever one it's called? Like, I'll literally say that exact thing. So next up is both, B-O-T-H, as in like both of us. I don't know another way to say that. Again, a couple different ways to pronounce this. I say again, like, oh, man, it's happening again. I can't believe this is happening again. You have again and again, but I think again is very Canadian. Perhaps maybe like Minnesotan or something. I could see people from Minnesota saying that. Perhaps Wisconsin. I don't remember how Fing Tam said it, and I know he's from Wisconsin. But again is how I say it. Next up is probably. This one, if you say fast enough, like if you're talking to somebody and they're like, oh, what are you going to do? And it's like, oh, man, tomorrow I think I'm kind of busy, but I'll probably, so you'll downsize it. You'll say probably. It's like you take out the A in the middle, and you'll say probably. But it's probably is how it is. Spitting image, a lot of times, and this goes for a lot of words that end in ing, a lot of times in America, I don't know why I singled out America. I don't know how the UK speaks for the most. I mean, I do, but like I don't know if this is common for there. But this is common, I think, everywhere in America. A lot of times you will drop the G off of it. So especially in the South, people will say spittin' image instead of spitting image. Not really a word that I ever use. So, but you know, that's how I would say it, is spitting image. Next we have Alabama. I don't know of a different way to say Alabama. Lawyer has a couple of different words, and actually when I was watching Fing Tam's video, he didn't have that pronunciation of lawyer. He had like lawyer or like liar, like almost, because he actually compared it to the word liar. And lawyer, but I say lawyer. I don't know, maybe that is close to liar. Hey, what are you? Oh, I'm just a lawyer. I don't know. You can be the judge of that. Next up is coupon. I mispronounced it. I know that sounds like I'm making that up. I generally say coupon. I don't say coupon. Coupon sounds weird to me. It's coupon to me, but I know people that say coupon. Next up is mayonnaise. I don't know anybody on the planet that pronounces it mayonnaise. I've always pronounced it mayonnaise. Everybody I know pronounces it mayonnaise, like literally like you're taking the Y-O out of mayonnaise and pronounce it mayonnaise. That's how I've always pronounced it. Syrup, I don't know. Well, I guess I say syrup. I guess some people say syrup. Southern wise, maybe people say, oh, you know, I need some syrup to go with this, but I always say syrup instead of syrup. I guess it makes the Y have a different sound. Next is pajamas, and Fing Tam actually reamed people who said pajamas, and he said it sounded pretentious, but that's how I've always said pajamas. I think pajamas is very much a northern way of speaking. I think a lot of people in the north say pajamas. I've always said pajamas, or PJs most of the time, really. Granted, I guess I don't really say it as much now, like as I'm older. But yeah. Next up is caught. I don't know how else people would say that. Caught. And then naturally, I don't know how else you would say that either. I don't think anybody would say naturally. It's naturally. Aluminum, I've never heard anybody pronounce that differently except for mispronouncing it, as in like aluminum. Like people kind of make fun of the weird spelling of it, but I've never heard anybody call it anything but aluminum. And last is envelope, and this goes two ways. It's either envelope or envelope. I personally say envelope. This may be a long video. Hopefully you get something out of it. I just wanted to do that. I really liked when Fing Tam did it. I love different accents and stuff like that. I'm probably going to post this on Twitter and maybe tag some people, and hopefully they'll do it as well. It makes for a little bit longer of a video because you have to repeat the stuff and all that stuff and just kind of see how you sound and everything. But I thought that was really, really fun. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy this, do your own accent challenge, man. If you go to Google and just search for accent tag, go and check it out, man. It's really, really cool. It's really fun to do stuff like this. I really, really enjoy it. So, and then tag me in it on Twitter or post in this. Like, leave me a link to your video. I don't really care. And I'll definitely go check it out. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.